Dogs are known for their loyalty and sharp instincts. But what happens when one dog's actions save lives in a way no one expects? Officer William and his partner Max, a smart German shepherd, were about to face a shocking discovery that would leave everyone speechless. Keep watching to see what happens next. The story begins with a man named Officer William, who worked at Bayeux International Airport, a busy place where people from all over the world came and went every day. William loved his job, especially because he had a loyal partner by his side. Max, a smart German shepherd. Max wasn't just any dog. He was highly trained to spot anything unusual, keeping the airport safe. Every day, Max and William worked together, making sure everything was in order. But today, something unexpected was about to happen. The airport was packed with people rushing through the terminals, and the sounds of footsteps and announcements filled the air. Cargo was being loaded onto planes, and everything seemed normal. But then, Max's behavior changed. He suddenly darted toward a suitcase, making William pause. The suitcase was traveling from Ukraine to Beirut and looked just like any other. William thought everything was fine, but Max wasn't interested in any of the other bags. His instincts told him something was off. William couldn't understand why Max was so focused on that particular suitcase. Little did he know, what would happen next would surprise them both and change their day completely. William was puzzled. Max had always been a dog of few actions, but his instincts were always right. If Max sensed something wrong, William knew to trust him. William pushed the suitcase aside and quickly called their team to report the issue. As he examined the suitcase, he noticed tiny, almost invisible holes in it. Each time Max sniffed it, he recoiled. Something strange and foul lingered in the air, but only Max seemed to notice. Knowing this was serious, Officer William acted fast. He called for backup and requested the bomb disposal team to investigate the suspicious suitcase. The officers arrived in heavy protective gear, and the room grew tense as they started their examination. Everyone watched in silence, waiting for what would come next. Max, still by the suitcase, wagged his tail nervously but kept his eyes locked on the bag. His focus never left, and William knew they were dealing with something serious. As the bomb squad carefully moved the suitcase into a separate room for inspection, the tension in the air was thick. Everyone at the airport watched from a distance, wondering what had made Max react like that. Was it a bomb? Or was there something even more dangerous hidden inside? The bomb disposal team worked quickly, checking every corner of the suitcase. Time seemed to crawl, and the wait felt endless. Finally, after what seemed like forever, they announced the suitcase was safe. There were no explosives. But the question remained: what had Max sensed? Why had he reacted so strongly to that particular suitcase? The mystery wasn't over. Proofread and punctuate this. With cautious hands, William and the bomb squad opened the suitcase. As the lid creaked, a dark, cramped space filled with dust and musty air was revealed. And then, a sight that no one had expected. A bundle of tiny Siberian tiger cubs huddled together in the dark. Their eyes blinked in confusion as the light hit them, and they let out faint, scared mews. The room fell silent. The sight of 3 young tiger cubs, so fragile and helpless, left everyone in shock. Officer William stared in disbelief. How had they ended up here? The cubs, born in a zoo in Ukraine, were meant to be transported to Damascus. But somehow, they had ended up in a box with little care, a far cry from the gentle lives they deserved. The tiger cubs, Lena, Zara, and Victor, looked malnourished, their fur matted and dirty from the rough journey. They were dehydrated, weak, and frightened. It was clear that they had been neglected, thrown into the dark, cramped crate for an unknown reason. Officer William's heart ached as he looked at them. How could anyone be so cruel to such innocent creatures? These cubs, who were supposed to live in the wild or under the care of professionals, had instead been subjected to abuse and suffering. Without hesitation, the officers sprang into action, carefully removing the cubs from the crate. They wrapped the tiny tiger cubs in blankets and offered them water, providing comfort as best as they could. The cubs, still in shock, began to perk up, though only a little. This was the first sign of kindness they had received in days, and it made a difference. Max, always the protector, stood nearby. His eyes softened as he watched the cubs being cared for. He had done his part, and now it was up to the team to ensure they got the care they desperately needed. When animal control arrived, they quickly took the cubs to a safe place. There, a team of veterinarians worked hard to nurse Lena, Zara, and Victor back to health. With proper food, care, and attention, the cubs began to show signs of recovery. They regained their strength, and their once dull eyes started to shine. The tiny, frightened cubs that had been locked away in a dark box were now becoming strong and vibrant animals. They were no longer just survivors of a cruel journey. They were full of life and ready to thrive, all thanks to the care they finally received. The rescue of these 3 tiger cubs quickly grabbed attention, making headlines around the world. It wasn't just the bravery of Max and Officer William that captured people's hearts. It was the shocking reality of animal trafficking and the cruelty many animals face every day. This event sparked a global conversation about the importance of protecting animals and preserving wildlife. Animal trafficking, as this case sadly showed, is a huge problem affecting species all over the world. The illegal trade of animals, especially endangered ones, is a serious crime that threatens entire ecosystems. When animals are stolen from their natural homes and trafficked across borders, it disrupts the balance of nature and harms biodiversity. Species that once thrived in the wild are pushed toward extinction, and their loss can cause ripple effects throughout the environment. The suffering animals face during trafficking is heartbreaking. Many are captured violently and shoved into tiny, unsanitary spaces where they are left to suffer. Some never make it to their destination, dying from stress, injury, or illness. Those who do survive often face a lifetime of cruelty and captivity. Their physical and emotional pain can last long after they are rescued. This case brought much-needed attention to the issue, and the world began to take notice of the urgent need to protect animals from such harm. This story also brought attention to a bigger issue: how wildlife trafficking affects human health. When wild animals are captured and moved around, they can carry diseases that can spread to humans. These diseases, known as zoonotic diseases, have caused many outbreaks in recent years. The illegal trade of animals only increases the chances of these diseases jumping from animals to people, putting global health at risk. But the problem goes beyond just the environment. Many animals being trafficked are important to cultures and traditions around the world. Losing them means losing parts of history and heritage that can never be replaced. Protecting wildlife isn't just about saving animals. It's about preserving our connection to the past and ensuring a better future for all of us. Thanks to Max's instincts and Officer William's quick thinking, Lena, Zara, and Victor were given another chance at life. Their rescue touched hearts worldwide and inspired many people to take action against animal cruelty and trafficking. Their story serves as a powerful reminder of how important it is to be compassionate, vigilant, and do our part to protect the wildlife that shares our planet.